Hey, what's up guys? My name is Benjamin and this is my 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse. So originally, it all started off with me like watching Fast and Furious movies and just like liking the Eclipse, mostly like how it just looked like. After a couple years, I just started realizing that I was really into cars, buying Hot Wheels and stuff like that. It just started growing onto me a lot more. When I was like 10, I started realizing that I wanted a car. Started saving up when I turned 10. Like my parents used to give me like birthday money, or like friends, family used to give me money for like my birthday, Christmas, stuff like that. I didn't really ask much, honestly. And by the time I turned 14, I ended up purchasing this Eclipse. I bought it for $1,200 and it was officially my first car. It was all beat up, janky, and needed a lot of work, but I was willing to put effort into it. Funny enough, when I got the car, I thought all of them came with like a 4G63 because I was informed back then that like they were known as the two-door Evos. And as a 14-year-old, you're not really thinking about like, oh, this car has this engine and everything. I just thought they all came turboed. When I noticed that I got the 428, it was mostly just like YouTube, like Donut Media kind of started explaining a lot more about like the DSM. I believe when I bought the car, around that time they posted a video of explaining like the 428, the 4G63T, and the difference in the power and platform ratio. And a lot of things when it came to modifying this car, being honest, I didn't know what to get. I was mostly just asking people like, oh, what do you recommend for this? And started going with just like basic bolt-ons like intake, exhaust. I've had a lot of hate come towards me because I've owned a 428. And a lot of people are like, oh, why did you waste so much money on a 428? You should have got a 4G63. It's way much better. You would have had like either the front wheel drive one is good, but you should have had like the all wheel drive. A GSX would have been way better to invest all that money in. I've had so many people tell me like my car is super slow. It's all looks. You're just like a TikTok build and a lot of other things. And it's just like a lot of people always tell me about power. It's mostly just that. I've actually had two 4G63 owners come up to me, and one of them was a 1G owner and the other one was a 2G owner. And one of them was bashing on, one, again, horsepower, and two, that I wasted this much money on a 428, basically an NA car, which is kind of dumb for me. I mean, there's a lot of hate, but it's mostly like social media. Like you just, like, hate comes and goes, right? And like whatever you do, you're never gonna have everyone on your side. Like it doesn't matter as nice as a person you are, it doesn't matter if you do end up boosting it, you're still gonna get hate. Even if you have a 4G63, there's sometimes that the same owners, the same like community is gonna hate on you. And like the hate doesn't really get to me just because I'm like, I drive the car, I built it, it's my car. And at the end of the day, I'm the one who's driving it home. I'm the one who's driving it to go get some like milk or something, you know? You're gonna see me driving and I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna be smiling. I mean, it feels like a lot of power is a good thing, but also a bad thing, you know? Especially for me, I daily drive my car and I also like rely on being it reliable. It does have its own breakdowns as well. It is a 20-year-old car, so you can't rely on everything too much. For the most part, I feel like it's not the engine itself. I feel like it's just like the past owners. And most owners that have the 4G63 now, they go for cheap power, putting cheap parts into their cars and just like expecting it to have like 100 horsepower more, or just like bashing on the car completely. It's like always sending it to 100. It's definitely just going to be unreliable. So in the next 5 years, I see this car still keeping it and probably continue building it. I might go through with the 4G63 build and probably change the wrap and do a couple other little things. The color, I wanted to change it up a little differently because I had the white for a while, although it was spray paint. There was a couple finicky things with spray paint. It's just like you work on the car, you get like oil all over your hands, and sometimes you accidentally touch it, and it used to ruin the effect on the paint. So I'd always had to like spray paint it back. And the color was kind of based on like a premium look, make it look more professional. And I feel like the aluminum jade did deliver that. It was just a lot more darker than I expected, but that was kind of mostly just the look. It was for like a more premium color. So the stance that I actually currently have is a lot more lower than it used to be, but the Megan coilovers that I have, that's like the lowest they go, and without like rubbing or anything crazy. And I feel like it's really good, especially for corners, the way that I have it set up. And like the stance currently is like practically like stock fitment, but just a lot more lowered. It's nothing crazy originally. Now I rarely rub. It's only like if I go crazy in or anything. When it comes to the 428 platform, it is like very, very riced out. And these cars can sound like Honda Civics sometimes. So for the most part, I focus on the sound and looks on when it comes to the engine and making it as reliable as I can. The 428 is really good for just in general like daily driving and just having a good time with it. You don't need a lot of horsepower just to have fun. Like you could take this around corners and you could like just practically sometimes even gap V8s in the corners. But mostly for the most part, when it comes to looks and stuff like that, I feel like the 428 could really look nice. And it also, just like with how I have it built right now, it just reminds me of like the Fast and Furious one with the chromed out valve cover and everything else. Like the looks, the sound that it gives off is just looks way much better than like a riced out Honda Civic. And it honestly could just be better than a 4G63 because you could take this out whenever you want, drive it whenever you want, and you still have that look of a DSM, which not many people could do. Yeah, some advice I would want to give off to 428 owners is just like, one, always double check your car on anything, like check your coolant, check your oil. I'm pretty sure this goes to any owners. Specifically when it comes to the 428 platform, it is kind of like getting harder to get aftermarket stuff. And also in general, don't let the hate get to you. Like everyone's at one point gonna hate on you. As long as you're not doing stupid shit, just do your own thing, honestly. Currently I have aluminum jade wrap on the car. I do have a carbon fiber hood, some hood latches, I don't know the brand, VIS hatch, special carbon mirror covers, some work wheels with some Spider tires. I do have clear tail lights, homemade. Honestly, I don't think I have anything done outside. Yeah, DSMs don't really take that much to make them look clean, as long as you just like go for like specific colorway and just like overall stick with what you're envisioning, you can make them pretty clean. NRG steering wheel, I do have the quick release. I have 2 bucket seats from NRG. I do have Ace harnesses, AEM harness bar, AEM strut bar for the rear. I have JBL subwoofers on the back as well with a Zeus amplifier. For the engine bay, I do have a built 428. It is a built head. It does have springs and valves, upgraded pistons. I believe they're forged pistons, upgraded piston rings as well, and upgraded oil pan. A couple other things as well as with the HKS headers, HKS exhaust, modern performance throttle body, as well with AEM intake that's made out of carbon fiber with a couple other little goodies as well. You guys could find me at It's Toki on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. On any platform, that is my username. And thank you for watching on my 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse on the 428 platform that I have.